Hello everyone. Finally, we are about to conclude the epic story of 1923 Season 1 with only a single episode left to be seen. Naturally, our expectations were high from this week's episode as well, since we were anticipating it to focus on the conclusion of some storylines because it would be difficult to cover them all in the final episode. Well, it seems like Taylor Sheridan isn't on the same page as us. Although the episode was not bad in general, it also didn't have enough twists or punches that would satisfy us. The few twists were relying on the convenience element, which made the story less believable in general. Now that we have revealed how we feel about Episode 7 in general, let's go through the episode to get a more detailed idea of it. The episode, titled The Rule of 500, started with Jacob and Jack jailing Banner, who was busy partying with two hookers at this modern house. This scene is pretty unique to the Yellowstone universe in our opinion. It's not because the Yellowstone shows have been prudes or anything, but because the series often don't have much explicit content. Well, at least not on this level. Banner seems to have the time of his life when the police arrived at his door alongside Jacob. Despite preserving his confidence and still threatening the Duttons, Banner seemed to know that this was the end of things as he was going to be jailed and then persecuted by the law's requirements. Well, he was wrong. Don, who was launching new mines throughout Montana, took things under his control, ensuring Banner that he will be bailed out despite the law. We are not sure what Dan is planning to do, but we know that the war is just beginning between the two sides and Banner is too naive to be the villain of the series. Our true villain is Don, and he will be the one that Spencer eventually ruins. The villainous nature of Don is also solidified by the cliché trope of the bad men have twisted, sickly fantasies trope as his relationship with Banner's hookers were far from the norm. Do we like that this cliché trope villainizes the kinks of people? No. Do we like that Sheridan relies on such cliches as a well-established, talented writer? Hell no. With Don and Banner utilizing the opportunities of the era as much as they can, the Duttons were discussing the real nature of politics and how can they save their land and nature from all this mess. Jacob had a great speech on how the state works and eventually reached the conclusion that the states don't provide order, they just become tools at the hand of the people to make sure the rich stay rich while the rest suffers. This was once again an unusual scene as Yellowstone universe refrains from explicit political statements for the most part. Still, it has always been clear that the Duttons are traditionalists who put their own values even above the values of the state. So we are not exactly surprised. In the meantime, Spencer and Alexandra reach Italy, which seems to be their last stop before Marseilles. Although things looked great at first with the sun shining, people having fancy meals at fancy restaurants and Alexandra having amazing times, Spencer was uncomfortable being surrounded by white people at a somewhat of a luxury spot. By the time Alexandra was trying to soothe him, the unexpected has happened. Alexandra's ex-fiance and her entire family has made an appearance, recognizing her immediately. It was a shocking moment for sure and signaling that Alexandra will go through serious emotional turmoil in the season finale. However, it was also kind of stupid. First of all, the world is small for sure, but not that small. It was too convenient for Alexandra to meet her family there and we hated it. Despite the fact that we are very much aware of how unreal all this is, we refuse this fact to be blared out. We seek more nuance in Sheridan's shows, wanting them to be surprising, not ridiculous. Similar things happened in 1883 as well, which lowered the quality of the show in our eyes. Now, the same thing is happening in 1923 as well, and we are truly upset about it, since the show has a lot of potential. Besides, let's be honest, we never had a scene where Alexandra was having close relations with her family or feeling upset that she left them. She didn't even mention them properly ever again, which shows how careless she feels about all these. So we don't understand why should we care about her meeting with her family. It feels like an unnecessary drama for the most part, and we believe it would have been much better if they simply reached Montana and that was it. We would even prefer a second lion attack, that's how much we dislike that plot twist. The most interesting storyline of the episode, however, was neither one of these. It was the storyline of Tiana, a character we are struggling to have an emotional connection with while not being able to take our eyes off her story. We met her father for the first time while he was finding out that her mother was killed. There she met a boy who is the son of Tiana's protector. From that point on, their journey to find Tiana has begun. Although they have gone for their separate ways at first, the threat of missionaries quickly brought the two back together. This was an interesting commentary on Christianity and how it spread not only in the US, but also throughout the world. In fact, the presence of violence in converting people to Christianity was the main point in the entirety of Tiana's storyline. Tiana was also found by the missionaries, who also killed her protector while injuring her as well. The entire scene was troubling for sure. But we have to admit that the lack of Tiana's lines in the show makes it difficult for the fans like us to have a bond with her. Although she has one of the most interesting storylines with the most tragic scenes, we feel like we don't know her except for the fact that she is escaping the boarding school. So we believe she is not a well-written character. Instead, she is a character with a well-written storyline. What are your thoughts on episode 7 of 1923? Did the episode meet your expectations? Which storyline was your favorite? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.